Hello, I am your host, Ethan, and I am here to guide you into a deep, restorative sleep. Tonight, we travel back in time, thousands of years to the cradle of civilization, to the warm river lands of ancient Mesopotamia, a land resting quietly between two great rivers, where the waters of the Tigris and the Euphrates move slowly across wide, fertile plains, and where the first great cities of humanity once rose from sun-baked clay. But before we begin our journey, allow your body to gently relax. Let the noise of the day slowly fade away. Take a slow breath in through your nose and release it softly through your mouth. Again, breathe in slowly and breathe out gently. One more deep breath and allow the tension of the day to drift away. Now bring your attention to the top of your head. Feel the scalp relaxing, the tiny muscles across your forehead loosening, becoming smooth and calm. Allow the area around your eyes to soften, your eyelids resting comfortably, the small muscles behind your eyes unwinding, your cheeks relax, your face becoming peaceful and still. Now gently relax your jaw. Allow it to unclench slightly, loose, comfortable, and at ease. Your throat softens, warm, open, and relaxed. Now bring your awareness to your lungs. Feel them expand gently as you breathe in and fall softly as you breathe out. Take 3 slow breaths here, and slowly, out gently, and again calm and steady, and out, releasing the last traces of tension. One final deep breath and release. Allow this calm sensation to move down into your chest and into your stomach, your abdominal area loosening, warm, quiet, and peaceful. Now let this relaxation flow down into your legs, your thighs becoming heavy, your knees soft, your calves loose and comfortable, all the way down into your ankles, your feet, and your toes, your entire body now resting quietly, still calm and peaceful. And as your body settles, your mind begins to wander gently, traveling far across time to a warm and ancient land beneath a quiet desert sky. Imagine standing beside a slow moving river. The night air is warm, carrying the scent of wet clay reeds and distant date palms. The river beside you moves gently in the darkness, reflecting thousands of small shimmering stars above. This is the great Euphrates River, flowing patiently through the ancient land of Mesopotamia. In the distance, you see a city rising from the earth, a city made of clay bricks baked beneath the sun, narrow streets winding between quiet homes, oil lamps glowing softly in small windows. This is the ancient city of Euphrates, one of the first great cities ever built by human hands. Towering above the city rises a magnificent structure, a massive step temple reaching toward the stars. The great ziggurat, its stone terraces glowing softly beneath the moonlight. At night, the city grows quiet. Merchants have closed their stalls. Farmers have returned from the fields, and the sound of distant voices slowly fades into silence. But in a small house near the temple district, a faint golden light still glows through a doorway. Inside this quiet room sits an old man, a scribe named Euphrates, known across the city for his wisdom, patience, and gentle voice. Before him lies a small wooden table, and upon it, a soft clay tablet, still damp from the riverbanks. In his hand, he holds a small reed stylus, carefully pressing tiny wedge-shaped symbols into the clay, the ancient writing known as cuneiform. Each symbol placed slowly, deliberately, patiently. Beside him sits a young apprentice named Naram, watching closely. Naram is young, curious, and eager to learn everything quickly. He watches the old scribe carefully press each mark into the clay. But the process seems slow to him, very slow. Finally, the boy asks, "Master, why do you write so slowly?" The old scribe pauses, the lamp beside him flickering softly. He looks at the boy kindly, a gentle smile forming beneath his gray beard. And then he says quietly, because wisdom, like clay, remembers the hands that move slowly. Outside, the Euphrates continues its patient journey through the ancient land, and the quiet story of patience in Mesopotamia is only just beginning. The small oil lamp continues to glow softly inside the quiet room, its warm light flickering gently across the clay walls and across the old wooden table where the scribe and his apprentice sit together in silence. Naram watches the tablet carefully. Each mark his teacher presses into the clay seems calm, deliberate, patient. But the boy still feels restless. His young mind wants to move quickly, to learn faster, to become wise all at once. The old scribe senses this impatience. Without looking up from the tablet, he speaks quietly. "Come," he says softly. "Let us walk." They step outside the small house into the warm Mesopotamian night. The streets of the city of Ur are now calm and quiet. Oil lamps glow faintly along narrow clay pathways. Shadows of date palm trees stretch gently across the ground. In the distance, the great ziggurat rises silently beneath the stars, its massive stone terraces glowing softly in the moonlight. The two figures walk slowly through the sleeping city, their footsteps soft against the packed earth roads. Soon they reach the outer edge of the city walls. Beyond them stretches a vast open plain, silver under the moon. And there, flowing quietly through the land, is the great Euphrates River. The water moves slowly, gently, reflecting the stars above like scattered diamonds. Tall reeds whisper softly along the riverbank as the night breeze passes through them. The old scribe sits upon a smooth stone near the water's edge. Naram sits beside him. For a moment, neither of them speaks. They simply watch the river. After a while, the old man asks a simple question. "What do you see, Naram?" The boy answers quickly. "I see water moving down the river." The old scribe smiles gently but shakes his head. "Look again," he says. So the boy watches more carefully. He notices the slow curve of the water around the riverbank. He sees how the moonlight shimmers across the surface. He notices a small wooden fishing boat drifting quietly in a current. And further away, he sees how the water has shaped the land itself, carving soft bends and curves into the earth over many long years. The old scribe finally speaks again, his voice low, calm, and steady. "This river has shaped the land for thousands of years. It feeds the fields, it builds the soil, it carves the earth. But it does not do these things with force. It does them slowly, with patience. The night breeze moves softly across the river. Reeds sway gently beside the water. Wisdom works the same way," the old scribe continues. "It does not arrive suddenly like a storm. It grows quietly, like the river shaping the land." Naram watches the flowing water again, this time more slowly. The boy begins to feel something different. The river does not rush. It does not struggle. It simply moves steadily, endlessly forward. And somehow, that quiet movement feels peaceful. After a long silence, the old scribe stands. "Come," he says gently. "It is time to return." They walk slowly back toward the sleeping city. Above them, the stars shine brightly across the vast Mesopotamian sky. The towering ziggurat stands quietly in the distance, watching over the ancient city. And as they return to the small house of clay and lamplight, Naram begins to understand that tonight's lesson has only just begun. The quiet streets of Ur grow still as the night deepens. Soft lantern light glows through clay windows, and somewhere in the distance, a night bird calls gently across the rooftops. Inside the small house of the scribe, the oil lamp still burns softly upon the wooden table. Its golden light dances across the clay walls. Naram and the old scribe return from their walk beside the river. Their footsteps slow, calm, thoughtful. The old man sits again at the table. Before him rests a fresh tablet of soft river clay. Still cool, still smooth, still waiting. Naram sits beside him quietly. But tonight, something inside the boy has changed. The restless energy he carried earlier now feels softer, slower. The old scribe turns the clay tablet toward him and places the reed stylus gently into the boy's hand. Tonight, he says quietly, "You were right." Naram's eyes widen slightly. He has watched his teacher write many tablets before, but he has never done it himself. The old man presses his finger lightly into the clay, leaving a small mark. "This," he says, "is the first symbol you will learn." The old scribe slowly presses the stylus into the clay beside him. One careful wedge-shaped mark, then another and another. The marks form a simple symbol, a symbol the scribes of the city use to represent wisdom. "Now you try," the old man says softly. Naram takes a breath. He presses the stylus quickly into the clay. Too quickly. The mark becomes uneven. The clay bends awkwardly. A small crack forms near the edge. The boy's shoulders sink slightly, but the old scribe simply smiles. Without a word, he smooths the clay again with the side of his hand. The tablet becomes blank once more. Again, he says gently. This time Naram pauses before moving. He remembers the river, slow, steady, patient. He breathes quietly and presses the stylus into the clay. One careful mark, then another, and another. The symbol begins to take shape. Not perfect, but calm. The old scribe nods slowly. "Better," he says. Outside the house, the warm night wind moves softly through the narrow streets. Inside, the lamp continues to glow beside them. Again, the clay is smoothed. Again, the boy writes. Each attempt slower than the last. Each mark more careful, more balanced. The hours pass quietly in the small room, until finally, one symbol rests clearly upon the clay. Strong, simple, peaceful. The old scribe studies it for a moment, then nods again. "You see now," he says quietly, "wisdom does not come from speed. It comes from patience." Naram looks at the small symbol pressed into the clay. A single word, yet somehow it feels much larger than that. Outside, the Euphrates continues its endless journey through the land, flowing calmly beneath the ancient stars. And the quiet lesson of patience continues to unfold. The night in the city of Ur continues quietly. Most homes are dark now, families sleeping behind cool clay walls, while the stars shine steadily above the ancient land. Inside the small house of the scribe, the oil lamp still burns softly on the wooden table. Its flame smaller now, but still warm. Naram sits patiently beside the table. Before him rests another smooth clay tablet, the surface cool beneath his fingers. The old scribe watches quietly from across the room. He does not rush the boy. He simply observes. Naram lifts the reed, stylus slowly, just as he has seen his teacher do many times. He breathes in gently and breathes out again, then presses the stylus carefully into the clay. One mark, then another, then another. The small symbol begins to form again, the symbol for wisdom. Outside the window, the night wind moves softly through the tall reeds along the riverbanks. The Euphrates flows steadily in the distance. Inside the room, time seems to move slowly, calmly, patiently. The old scribe finally speaks, his voice quiet and warm. "Many people believe wisdom comes from knowing many things," he says. "But that is not always true. He walks slowly to the table and places another fresh tablet beside Naram. Wisdom, he continues, comes from learning how to move through life with patience. The boy listens carefully. In this land, the old man says, the rivers teach patience. The farmers who wait for the floods learn patience. The potters who shape clay learn patience. And the scribes who write our history into these tablets. He gently taps the clay. They must learn patience too. Naram looks again at the symbol he has written. The edges are straighter now, the lines balanced, not rushed. The old scribe nods with quiet approval. You are beginning to understand. Outside, the sky slowly begins to change, far beyond the city walls. A faint pale glow appears along the horizon, the first hint of dawn. The stars above the great ziggurat begin to fade one by one. Morning will soon arrive in the ancient city. Farmers will return to their fields. Merchants will open their stalls. Boats will begin moving again along the Euphrates. But inside the small house, the final lesson of the night is still unfolding. The old scribe places one final tablet before Naram, a fresh surface of smooth clay. Write it once more, he says softly. Naram breathes slowly, feeling calm now, steady. He presses the stylus into the clay, carefully, patiently. One mark, then another, then another. The symbol appears clearly, balanced, quiet, complete. The old scribe studies it for a long moment, then smiles gently. And outside, the first golden light of morning begins to touch the ancient city of Ur. But the greatest lesson of the night has already taken root in the quiet mind of the young apprentice. The quiet morning light slowly spreads across the ancient city of Ur, soft golden rays touching the tops of clay houses and the tall stone terraces of the great ziggurat. But inside the small house of the scribe, the lamp still burns gently, its flame calm, steady, peaceful. Naram sits quietly beside the wooden table, the finished clay tablet resting before him. The symbol he has written is simple, but the meaning behind it feels deep and calm within his mind. The old scribe sits beside him, watching the first light of morning enter through the doorway. For a long moment, neither of them speaks. Outside, the Euphrates continues its endless journey, flowing slowly through the fertile land of Mesopotamia, just as it has done for thousands of years and will continue to do for thousands more. Farmers will soon walk toward their fields. Boats will begin drifting along the river. Merchants will open their stalls within the waking city. But here, in this quiet moment, everything feels still, peaceful. The old scribe gently places his hand upon the finished clay tablet. This, he says softly, is how wisdom begins. Not with speed, but with patience. The boy nods quietly. He understands now. Wisdom is not something that arrives all at once. It grows slowly, like the river shaping the land, like the farmer waiting for the harvest, like the potter shaping clay upon the wheel. Patiently, steadily, quietly, the old scribe carefully places the finished tablet upon a wooden shelf, among many others, each tablet holding a small piece of memory, a small piece of knowledge, a small piece of time. Outside, the sky continues to brighten, the stars fading gently one by one, the warm air of morning drifting through the quiet streets of Ur. But you remain here for a moment longer, in this peaceful ancient world. The sound of the river flowing slowly in the distance, the soft whisper of reeds moving in the breeze, the calm silence of the waking city. The Euphrates flows patiently beneath the brightening sky. The clay tablets rest quietly upon their wooden shelves, and the ancient land of Mesopotamia breathes slowly beneath the rising sun. Everything calm, everything steady, everything at peace. Now, allow the story to drift away, like the quiet river moving through the land, and let your mind rest deeply, comfortably, peacefully, as sleep gently carries you into the quiet night ahead.